John here today. We're back with the footy again. We're finally back. The bye weeks are behind us, which is fantastic to see. And it's round 17. Holy crap, this season is just absolutely flying by. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're with us. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Really helps us out. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter as well. And leave a review on Apple and Spotify as well, if you feel so inclined. It's been a really, really good season. I'm glad to bring you footy props back. You've probably been watching our off-season NFL team previews in the meantime with Sully and I. That's going really well as well. A lot of great content is coming out of that. But we're going to talk about the footy this weekend. I've got 5 matchups for you today. We're going to look at the Friday night game between the Bombers and the Pies. We're going to look at the Adelaide game, Port Adelaide and the Bulldogs. Geelong and the Hawks. We'll look at the Giants and the Blues as well, and we'll finish on the Sunday game, which is between the Saints and the Swans as well. As always, never bet more than you can afford to lose, and help is out there if you want. This is just for entertainment purposes only. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, so best of luck, but also know your limits and gamble responsibly, of course, as well.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
All right, we'll start with a Friday night primetime game. It's between the Bombers and the Pies, and it's got to be said, the Bombers are really not playing as well as they should have been over the last many weeks. Now, they're actually playing a bit worse than you might think. They've only covered their spread once in the last 8 games. That is bad. So the reason I bring that up is because there's an expectation of what people who are betting serious money on have, and they're not even really meeting that at all. So not looking good for the Bombers. They've also been playing in a few shootouts, a few low-scoring games as well. Pies are sort of trending up. They're a bit 50-50 at the moment as well. At the moment, Pies are favoured 11.5 points, and the over-under is 167. So it's a pretty conservative line on both ends there. I actually don't mind the Bombers to cover this one at nearly 2 goals. If we can get it to 12.5, that'd be better, because then you've got that 2 goals covered, those 2 straight kicks. So we'll see what happens there. Got a few good options for you, though. Let's jump. We'll start with the Bombers. We'll start with disposals that I really like. So Jordan Ridley has really started to pop off in the last couple of weeks since he's been back from injury. For 20 plus touches, you can get him at $1.25, which is not too bad. He has he's missed a lot of the season, but he sort of seems to be back in full form now from round 11 onwards. He's had 21, 22, 22, and 25 disposals. He had a down week last week with just the 15, but I kind of expect that to pop back a little bit. So like Jordan Ridley there. The other one, Dyson Heppell, has been playing a lot better than you might think as well. He had 22 disposals last week and 20 the week before that. His line has been sitting around sort of 19.5. More often than not, he's been going that. He did have a down week 13, round 13, but he has sort of popped back. So at $1.50, that's really good value for him. The other model really likes Sam Durham as well at 20 plus touches. He's been pretty good recently. And if you're looking for a sneaky under, Andrew McGrath has really not been playing as well as we might have thought in the last couple of weeks. He's actually gone under. He's sitting at his disposal line has been about 22.5, and he's minus 2.5 to go under that. So that's pretty good odds there as well. We'll take a look at some options that I like for the Pies now for disposals. It's worth noting that John Noble is out of this game. He's in concussion protocol at the moment, so I think he could clear it, but I don't see it being likely. It really hasn't happened for players all year. And I think that bodes really well for Jordan Goey, who has been injured the last few weeks, but when he's been playing more recently, more often than not, he is easily going over that 20 plus touches line that we need. And he's sitting at around $1.45 to get 20 plus touches. So put those two together. I really, really like that value. And then the other sneaky one that you could get as well is Scott Pendlebury has been playing really well as well. For 20 plus touches, he's at $1.45. And he's had, in the last weeks gone by, so he had 18, didn't get it last week. He was injured the weeks prior to that, but then 21, 22, 30. And even before that, he's been hitting over 28. So he's been more often than not getting that as well. So good value for Scott Pendlebury as well. Couple of anytime goal scorers that we like for the Bombers. So Kyle Langford to kick 2 goals is $1.85. He's been doing a really good job of that lately, kicking goals more often than not. And then Jade Gresham, he's back. He missed the last couple of weeks, but he did come back last week. Didn't kick anything though, so model likes him at $1.30 to kick a goal as well. And if you want something a bit safer, there's Matt Guelfi as well to kick a goal, is $1.25 there. For the Pies, interestingly, it really still likes Nick Daicos to kick a goal at $1.30. He's had 12 goals from 26 shots at goal, so not too bad value there. Other one, well, we've already talked about him, Jordan Goey. Model really likes to kick a goal. He's had 4 goals from 15 shots at goal, so fully expect one of these balls to finally go through, and the Bombers seem like the kind of team who might be able to give it up, so that's at $1.33 as well. And Patrick Lipinski as well. He's been having a really, really good season in front of goals. You can get him $1.55 to kick a goal. And he's probably the most sure thing of all these guys. He's 12 goals from 20 shots at goal as well there. So a couple of options I really like. So in order, it's Nick Daicos, Jordan Goey, even Bobby Hill you could get for 2 goals if you want. And Patrick Lipinski, really good value there as well. So let's take a look at the final ticket that we really like. I'm going to go with these 3 options. Tail at your own risk. So it is Jordan Goey, 20 plus touches at $1.45. Patrick Lipinski, we're going to go with him. Anytime goal scorer, $1.55. That's great value. And Dyson Heppell as well at $1.50 for 20 plus touches. Really love that value as well. So that should do it for those guys. All right, we'll take a look at the Saturday day game now. It's in Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. It's between Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs. Currently, the Dogs are favoured on the road, -2.5, and the over-under is 166.5. Makes a lot of sense. Port Adelaide has not been playing well the last few weeks. I understand that they got the win last week against the Saints, but man, they really slogged that out. That was not easy for them. Dogs, interestingly, have been playing in a lot of overs games. It went under last week, but prior to that, 8 of the last 9 games had all resulted in overs. Port Adelaide does typically, though, play in unders games, though, so we'll see what we get there. We'll start with the Western Bulldogs. We really like what Bailey Williams is doing at the moment. He is sort of semi-flying under the radar a little bit here. For 20-plus touches, $1.45 you can get him at. And the last 6 weeks, he's had 25, 22, 24. He had 19 in round 12, and then 22, 22. And he got it the week before that as well. So he, more often than not, is quite easily getting 20-plus touches other than round 12 where he had 19. So he fell 1 short. So he's flying under the radar. So we really, really like Bailey Williams in this spot particularly as well. Bailey Dale for 25 as well is interesting, but he's probably not worth it as much as you would think with Marcus Bontempelli, who is about the same price. So Bont you can get for 25 plus touches at $1.35, and Bailey Dale is about the same price, and Bont seems to be more likely to get it than not. He's had 35, 30, he had a really down week in week 13 as well, but then 30, 29, so really like those odds, that value there for Marcus Bontempelli as well for touches. If we take a look for disposals for Port Adelaide as well, Kane Farrell seems to be the one who is flying under the radar for that team particularly as well. So last few weeks, he has had 25, 24, 30. He had 18 and 14 before that, but then 26 as well. So more often than not, he's hitting that 20-plus touches line, and he's at $1.35. So they're semi-aware of that. I think most of the attention's been driven out by Jason Horne-Francis, though, who is, for 20-plus touches, he's $1.27. So much, much less odds there, but still not bad because he's a bit of a sure thing. So he's 28, 21, 19 in round 14, 22, 24, and 27. So more often than not, he's really come alive as the season's gone on as well, and he really puts the team on his back at the moment. The other one you could look at, Jackson Mead, is $1.25 for 15 plus touches. So there's not a lot that you have to get there, but he's pretty much hit that every single week for the last 7 to 8 weeks. He's even gone 20 plus in those. So if you want something fairly simple, if you're looking for something to just cap off your parlay, I would look at Jackson Mead at 15 plus touches for $1.25. And I haven't said his name once this year, but here he is, Aliir for 15 plus touches. He's come alive as well. That's $1.35 that can get you as well. He's gone over that pretty much every single week except round 11. So just keep that in mind. But I think that this matchup against the Dogs, there should be disposal central. So really like that. Going to take a look at anytime goal scorers for the Western Bulldogs. The one that we like the most for 2 goals, Jamarra, Ugle-Hagan. You can get him $1.85 for 2 goals. That seems to be really great value. And Rhylee West as well, $1.55 to kick a single goal. He's been good for a goal just about every single week this year. So 17 goals from 38 shots at goal. Really like that value as well. If we take a look at Port Adelaide, there's actually a couple options I like here. So Mitch Georgiades to kick 2 goals is $1.85. You're getting some value back because I think he was goalless last week against the Saints, but he got robbed of a couple of goal opportunities there that he should have got. So I'd probably lock that one. That's great value. Todd Marshall, anytime goal scorer, he's reached $1.20. So he has been really inconsistent, but we know he's good for at least 1 goal. The problem is he's having a really down season this year. So you can stick it out. I like Todd Marshall to kick a goal. And then a bit more of a long shot, Jason Horne-Francis, already talked about him, $1.50 to kick a goal. He has 12 goals from 32 shots at goal on the season, so really good value there. But let's take a look at the final ticket for this game. We're going to go with Bailey Williams, 20 plus touches at $1.45. We like that. Marcus Bontempelli, 25 plus touches will get you $1.35. And we'll do it. I'm going to back him. Todd Marshall, $1.20 to kick a single goal. He's one of their key goal kickers. He's got to do it. So that's the ticket for this week. All right, the Saturday Arvo game. It's down in Geelong. I'm going to be at the game cheering on my boys. It's going to be the first time the Hawks have been at Cardinia Park since 2006, if you remove the COVID year, of course. Since 2006. So it'll be interesting to see how they go against the Cats. It's got to be said, we've got to talk about this. The Hawthorn Hawks, they are on fire at the moment. They have covered their spread 10 of the last 11 games, 9 straight in a row as well. So they've really found form. Whatever Sam Mitchell's doing there, it is working. I think that this is going to be a really, really fantastic game. It is worth noting, James Sicily is out for the Hawks. He dislocated his collarbone in the win last week over in Perth against the Eagles. So that's going to be tricky for them. I think it'll make it a bit tougher. But Geelong is currently favoured 10.5 points. Over-under is 170. So pretty healthy lines there. We'll start with the Geelong Cats. And for disposals for the Cats that we really like. So Ollie Dempsey is absolutely coming alive in the last couple of weeks. He's got to be in contention for Rising Star at this point. 20 plus touches, you can get it for $1.35, and he's probably leading the most. He's the most unlikely of people to get it, but at the moment he's 25 disposals the week before that as well. Had a down week in round 13, 14, but then 27, he had 10, 25 again. So it depends if they play him up forward or they play him in the middle. I think that they've actually swapped Jeremy Cameron and Ollie Dempsey around, and that seems to be a better formula for the Cats. So I'm okay with Ollie Dempsey playing through the middle and 20 plus touches. I do like that as well. The one that stands out the most, though, Max Holmes. He could be a risk for 25 plus touches, but at $1.55, I don't mind that. Even with Patrick Dangerfield back, the two seems to be playing hand-in-hand really well together. Tanner Bruin has injured himself. He's out I thought it was for the remainder of the season. Apparently, he might be back by the end of the year. I think he broke his collarbone as well. And then Jack Bowes is absolutely rising. Very hit or miss, but could be really good value at $1.55 for 20 plus touches. The reason I say that is because he's not actually getting a lot of game time. He only played 68% of the game last week against the Bombers, but he still came up with 26 disposals, which led all of the team in disposals. But then week before that, 11, 14, so that was bad. Round 11, he had 5. That was risky. But then we backed it up with 29. He's backed it up in round 10 with 21. So he does get it sometimes. And I kind of like the value. He's really started to come on. We were talking about this on the Hoops podcast. Is it a fitness thing with Jack Bowes? Is it because he doesn't quite get the amount of fitness that he needs? We're not sure, but I still sort of seem to really like that value. $1.55. It's not bad. And then you can also get Patrick Dangerfield at the moment, $1.42 for 20-plus touches as well. And he's getting that more often than not as well, him and Max Holmes. So we'll see how they go together. I really like the matchup. Geelong has been one of the worst clearance teams in the league this season, and it's kind of been in the Chris Scott era. But I still quite like that value from the captain. I think he comes alive in this game, particularly at home. He loves playing these games at home. Okay, for the Hawks, have I got a player for you? So I already mentioned it. James Sicily has dislocated his shoulder, which means our guy who we've been living off all season long, he's been an absolute phenomenon, Massimo D'Ambrosio. We think he's going to go off this week. 20-plus touches, you can get that at $1.60. This is a player who has regularly gone over a 20-plus touches line. He did it last week. His line has been at 23.5. So he hasn't been hitting those all the time, but he's always been a lock for at least 20 the last 6 weeks. So 20, 23, 23, 20, 27, and 28. I think with Sicily out, playing Massimo D'Ambrosio out of the back line is going to be really, really good for them. Going to be some tough matchups there with the Geelong forwards, but I think he's going to be a really, really good lock for that at $1.60. I mean, that's great value. The other one, Jack Ginnivan, 15-plus touches. You can get him at $1.35 for 15-plus touches, and he has actually been pretty good. For that 21 last week, he did have 14 the week before that, but then 16, 22, 23, and 15. So he's sort of starting to play more in the half-forward line role, which has been working really well, while Marbio Chol has been playing up forward, and the likes of Connor Nash as well, and Connor McDonald as well in the forward line. So really like that. And then every week, 20-plus toucher getter is Carl Amon, 21 last week, 23 the week before that. He had 19 in round 13, so we're okay when you fall just one short, but then 22, 29 as well, and that'll get you $1.27 for Carl Amon to get 20-plus touches as well. If we take a look at goal scorers for the Cats, so anytime goal scorers, we really like Jeremy Cameron to score 2 goals at $1.50. They've moved him back up forward finally, and it seems to be the recipe that's working really well for them. So really like that. The other one that we really like is Ollie Dempsey at $1.75. I just mentioned that they did move him back sort of to the half-forward line, to the wing as well, to play that Jeremy Cameron role that was filling in. If he can drift forward, which he has more often than not, really like him to kick a goal. And then, surprise, surprise, Max Holmes, $1.80 to kick a goal. He's kicked a goal, at least one, in each of his last 5 games. So if we can keep that up, $1.80 to kick a goal. He's usually good from outside the 50 on the run. He's very accurate when he does take his shots, so quite like that as well. We look at the Hawks as well. So Jack Ginnivan is the standout, $1.38 to kick a goal, and he seems to kick them more often than not. If we look at Nick Watson as well, $1.47 to kick a goal. If he can finally put it through the sticks, that'd be really good for Nick Watson. He would really need that for his confidence. Understand he's just a rookie, but he has kicked 6 goals from 28 shots at goal. It's got to be one of the worst records, accuracy records in footy so far. That's okay. I think that'll finally start to regress to the mean. So the $1.47, I actually do like Nick Watson there to kick a goal. It'll be interesting to see how he matches up against these tall Geelong defenders. And then Connor McDonald is a screaming value, $1.55 to kick a goal. And he seems to be one of the more likely, according to my model, to kick a goal. He's had 15 goals from 33 shots at goal there as well. So let's look at the ticket. We really like Jeremy Cameron, 2 goals, $1.50. Love that. Ollie Dempsey, 20-plus touches, $1.35. Love that. And one of our locks, it's got to be my lock of the week, Massimo D'Ambrosio, 20-plus touches, $1.60. Love that value. We'll take a look at the Saturday night game up in Sydney. There might be a little bit of rain, which is worth noting, but it's between the Giants and the Blues, and the poor old Giants, they're not traveling too well at the moment. In the last 8 games, they've only covered the spread twice. Not really good to see. They're starting to fall off a map. Had a really bad loss to Adelaide last week in Adelaide. Blues, having said that, are only 5.5-point favourites, so quite like that value. And the over-under is 163.5 as well. We'll start with the Giants. We really like for disposals. Lockie Ash is back and he's playing really, really good footy. At 20 plus touches, you can get him for $1.60, which we really love. He's been injured more recently, but he had 26 touches last week. He had 30 the week before that. He's been playing out of defense, particularly with the Sam Taylor injury. I think it's flying under the radar a little bit. So Lockie Ash, 20 plus touches, $1.60. Love that. The other Lockie, still playing absolute lights out footy. Lockie Whitfield, 25 plus touches, $1.27 you can get that one for. And you could also probably bet his line. If his line's sitting at like 27.5, you could bet the over on that. 41 touches last week, 25 the week before that, 28 and 30. Man's a machine. He's always playing really well out of the half back line. Love to see that. Toby Green as well, 15 plus touches. Not bad value there at $1.30. He's had 16, 18, 18, 14, 24 touches the last 5 weeks, 17 the week before that as well. So he's sort of starting to step up a little bit in the half forward line role, which is looking good. And then a little sneaky one that you probably haven't noticed, Connor Iden, 15 plus touches, $1.25. You could probably tack that one on as well. He has been a bit of a standout. He's had 23 touches last week, 20 the week before that, 16 and 21, 19. So he is going over his 15 plus touches line a lot more often than you probably think. Disposals that we really like for the Blues. So we're actually going to look, they've got to be the hardest team to pick when it comes to disposals, but we're looking at Matthew Kennedy, of all people. 21 touches last week, 31 the week before that, and then 19 the week before that, 14 and 22. So it can be tricky, but $1.55, don't mind that value. Blues in a really good spot here. They're playing really well. And then let's have a quick chat about Elijah Hollins, who in the last couple of weeks has really started to step up. For 20 plus touches, he's at $1.95. And the reason I bring him up is because last week he had 20 touches, 21 touches the week before that, 19, 18, 17, and 22. So he's right around that area that we like. He's playing in the half forward line as well, which seems to be working for him. At $1.95, it's a bit more of a long shot. It is more of a 50-50, but that's pretty good value for what might transpire be quite good. I think Patrick Cripps has been taking a lot of those touches, but if he can get some back, that could be worth it. We'll look at anytime goal scorers for the Giants. So Toby Green, we really like, has a very good chance to kick 2 goals. That's at $1.65. He's 22 goals from 58 shots at goal. We're going to need him to step up in this game against the Blues, so it's a good spot for him. And then the other one we like, Brent Daniels, is $1.50 to kick a goal. He's had a really good season, 14 goals from 29 shots at goal. He hasn't played all the time, but when he's been in the lineup, more often than not, he is kicking a goal. And then for the Blues, really like Charlie Curnow to kick 2 goals. This is insane, $1.27. What's crazy is he's still the highest rated player, even despite the fact that him kicking 2 goals is more likely than other players kicking 1. So he's on absolute fire at the moment. 45 goals from 76 shots at goal on the season. And then a little sneaky one that we talked about before, Elijah Hollins. He's playing a lot better as well. He's getting a lot more of the ball. Because he's getting the ball, he's actually converting on goals as well. 12 goals from 22 shots at goal. And that's at $1.50, so I really like that as well. But I'll go over the ticket that we really like for this game. It's going to be Lockie Ash, 20 plus touches at $1.60. Love that. Toby Green, we're going to go 15 plus touches at $1.30. We really like that. And then Charlie Curnow is $1.27 to kick 2 goals. We really love that one. So we'll lock those in. All right, and we'll cross to the Sunday game. It's the 3:30 game as well. It's the St Kilda Saints versus the Sydney Swans. And for the poor old Saints, well, it's not going to get any easier for them. Their season, they had a crushing loss last week to Port Adelaide. The Swans also are going to be coming off one of their first losses of the season, or first losses in a really, really long time since that Richmond game against Freo. And I think the Swans will want revenge. And for the poor old Saints, it's going to get harder before it gets easier for them. Having said that, though, there's a lot of value that I do like in this game from both sides of the ball. Swans at the moment are 20.5-point favourites, and the over-under is 161.5. That's because the Saints do like to play in very low-scoring games. So let's get into this. One of our favourite players, we've loved betting him all season long, and there's no reason to stop now. He's been amazing. Nasai Wanganeen-Millera, Have you heard of him? He's playing insane football right now. I like his over prop line. If it's sitting around 24.5, I don't mind getting that. Even at 25 plus touches, you can get him for $1.55. He's playing like one of the best players in the league at the moment. 26 touches last week. He was injured the week before that. And then 28, 24, 30, and 30. He has been one of the most consistent players all year. So we love Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera. The other one, Mason Wood, to get 20 plus touches is $1.45. We think that that's really good value because he had 19 touches last week, so he didn't get it, but just fell one short. 22 the week before that, 21, 22, 27, 22. Really, really good value. Consistency there, $1.45. Really like that. For the Swans, Errol Goulden has actually come alive. We were off him at the start of the season because he's had a lot of hype. He wasn't actually playing to his prop lines at the start of the season. They were really high, so we got a lot of value on betting the under there. But it started to even out a little bit. He had that 41 disposals game the other week, so that's kind of smashed us a little bit. And 35 the week before that, 37 the week before that. He's come alive. He had 21 last week though, so depending on what his prop line is, 25 plus touches is $1.20. You could tack that on. If anything, if his line is sitting around like 27.5, 28.5, I'd bet the under. I do like betting the under on Errol Goulden still. Here's a name you might not expect. Taylor Adams. He's really come about the last 5 weeks. He's $1.75 for 20 plus touches. He had 19 last week, so he didn't quite get it there, but then 22, 22, 23 the weeks before that. So he's starting to really find his form within the team. He's playing more consistently. He's getting the ball more consistently. He's playing in the midfield as well. So love to see that value on him. And then James Rowbottom, Old Faithful, finding form again at $1.50 for 20 plus touches. He had 23 last week, 32 the week before that, and 21 the week before that, 19 before that. So he has sort of started to find consistency again. We feel quite comfortable betting him again. Anytime goal scorers for the Saints, I'm just going to be honest, no one. I don't like any of these guys. I don't like any of this value. They're a low-scoring team. They can't convert. They can't win games, and they have the toughest matchup of the season. So long shot, maybe Max King, but he's coming off the worst game of his career. And like I said, they're facing the Swans. It's going to be a really tough matchup for them in defense. I'd rather look at the Swans in this spot. Isaac Heaney, he's the best value. $1.25 to kick a goal. He's been really consistent. He's been a lock pretty much every week for at least one goal, if not two. He's on 21 goals from 32 shots a goal. So accuracy is great as well. Other one we really like, Chad Warner, $1.23 to kick a goal. And he's been also, similar to Isaac Heaney, really consistent. 24 goals from 37 shots a goal. I was going to say 34 goals from 37 shots a goal would be insane. 24 goals. Still, that's still pretty insane. But let's look at the ticket for this one. It is going to be Isaac Heaney, anytime goal scorer, $1.25. Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera, 25 plus touches we really like. And we're going to do it, Errol Goulden, just to cap it off, 25 plus touches at $1.20. Really like that value as well. That's going to do it for round 17 of the footy. I'm glad that you're still watching. If you are, please like and subscribe. It's a really free way that helps us grow the channel, grow the page, and allows us to keep doing these as well. We're going to keep doing our NFL team previews. That's going really well for us at the moment as well. I think next week we've got Houston, Indy, we've got Jacksonville and Kansas City, so that'll be really good to see as well. Follow along with what Sully's doing as well. He's doing some really amazing stuff too. If you're going to be at the games this weekend for the footy, have fun. It's going to be very, very cold. I'm going to be very cold in Geelong, but that's okay. Until then, we'll catch you next week.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.